Hi, this is Mike Lamb looking back over the footage from my heavy squat session today. Decided to go off of a box. Normally I wouldn't use a box too often in my training. I think it's a great tool for teaching the squat because it gives you a solid reference points at the end of each rep to go to. And I like incorporating it occasionally, like this on my max effort days, to put a bit of variety in. But as I said, I don't like using it too often because you don't want it to become a crutch to rely on. Because you'll find you'll get your technique really nailed down with the box, and as soon as you take it away, everything just falls to pieces. I was building up to a 1 rep max today, so this is my heavy squat session in the rotation. So I have heavy days, speed days, and rep days. This is my heavy days. I tend to work them kind of west side style, so I'm building up to a rep max. So today was a 1 rep max for me. I think these first two sets I did for a double, just because the weight felt pretty light. So you're building up to a max. This is a 1 rep max day for me. But the main thing is you want to get the working sets in as well. So normally on a session like this I'd bump up the weight in 10 kilo jumps for the squats. But today I wanted to get more sets in and get more reps in. So I did 5 kilo jumps in every set. Apart from the first and second set I jumped up 10 kilos, and then the 10th to my 11th set I jumped up 10 kilos as well. Also, this is my first time using the blue bands today. The most I've done on this is the green bands. So we've got purple bands, green bands, and blue bands at the gym. Purple's the least resistance, green's the middle one, and blues, which I've got on here, are the most resistance on the bar. I've actually worked out the band tensions recently. These are meant to be at full stretch. This pair of bands will add 100 kilos at the top of the lift. Having a bit of trouble with the walkout there. But these aren't quite at full stretch in the position I've got them there, so they're probably, if I was to guesstimate, I'd say about 60 at the top, but that's a rough number to be honest. I'm not as concerned about exactly what the band tension is, because all I'm writing down in my records in my book is I'll just write down the weight that's on the bar and then whatever band I use, so then next time I come back round to that movement I'm trying to beat the weight. So awkward walking out with the bands. If you think it's hard trying to walk out a barbell for a squat when you've just got a heavy straight weight, try it with the bands because they're just trying to ping you all over the place. If you don't know what the point of the bands is, it's basically accommodating the resistance, so it makes it lighter at the bottom and heavier at the top. Lets you kind of overload a little bit. The main point of it is to try and produce force, because the weight's constantly increasing as you go up through the rep. Your body's having to produce more and more force as you go up through the rep. So you lock out, you're at full tension on the bands, it's as heavy as it can be. And then it takes the weight off a little bit at the bottom. So if you watch me on this one, it gets easier and easier as it comes down, so it's alright there. And then coming up, it gets heavier and heavier as you come up. Same principle as if you've got chains on the bar. Except bands work a little bit differently. With the chain on the bar, yes, you're accommodating the weight and it's getting heavier as you come up, but chains are more beneficial because it's slightly more unstable on the bar because the chains move around underneath the barbell. Whereas having bands on it like this, because they're actively pulling you down, as opposed to just having weight on the bar, they force you to get tighter under the barbell, which seriously sucks. Particularly on a deadlift at the top if you're using a lot of band tension. Trying to grip onto that barbell when it's actively ripping out of your hands with the bands on there is awful. So I worked up to, this is 140 now, I had to ask Chris to come over and give me a spot. Pretty disappointed he wasn't wearing his purple shoes today. They are awesome. What was this? Yeah, 140. So I built up to 160 today. The 140 here, this is pretty easy actually. That went fairly smoothly. I was quite happy with my form today. I played around a little bit with bringing my hands in and bringing them out wider. So I was getting a lot of wrist pain out wide. But actually I found once I brought my wrists and my grip in narrower and closer to my shoulders that it was pitching me too far forwards. And it just felt way too uncomfortable for where my bar's positioned on my back, so I took it back out wide again. Pretty happy with form though today. Good job of keeping my knees out on the way down. You see they cave in a bit on the way up, particularly as it's getting heavier. The first few sets are pretty good. So this is my penultimate set now of 150. If I remember, this set was alright, and then the 160 afterwards was a bit of a struggle. I've still got a lot to work on and just fine tuning my form in the squat. Stance I'm happy with, grip I'm happy with. I just got to get my core set tighter, drive my knees out harder on the reps, and tuck my elbows in more. Bit of a struggle there, but not too bad. So this is my last set at 160, this is my max. I won't talk over this one, I'll just let it play out. Apart from that, I hope you've enjoyed watching the video and thanks for listening.